everybody, Edo here, and this is Roar of War by Alican Yenidogan, and this is on Kickstarter right now. And if you don't remember, about a year ago, Alican did GG, which was a very successful and popular Kickstarter, which was based on rock, paper, scissors, but you had 2 rows of 4 versus another player. All the cards were flipped over, and it was this hidden information version of it where you had rock, paper, scissors, but also bigger rocks and smaller rocks, bigger scissors and smaller scissors, and then some walls and bobs and a variety of other things. Simple, fast, and an interesting game, and popular. This, Roar of War, is essentially sort of a sequel, but not quite a sequel because it's a completely different theme. And he made some changes, or she, Alican, I'm not sure. Alican made some changes where the cards now have hit points and values in attack and defense. So it went from sort of the simple take to a much more sophisticated take, and some really fantastic art. I think those are the strategy cards, but you know, the artwork is fantastic, high fantasy. And again, in this game, you're going to pick one of these races. You have elves, humans, orcs, and dwarves. And let me just take 2 for a second here. And each player, there are these damage tokens, which we'll talk about in a second, but each player is going to be setting up, I'll do humans here. There are strategy cards. You're going to get 2 at random. They're basically like action ability cards. And you are going to be setting up 2 rows of 4 each. And so is your opposing player. Now, in the back row, there's actually a king or queen. Each race has one of them, and that card is going to be, essentially, if this card gets taken, game's over, the other player wins. I set these up at random, but you're going to think about what you're doing. What's one difference in this game is, it used to be in the previous game in GG, you set up your stacks all at once. Now you only set up the first 8 cards, and then every turn you're going to continue to deploy more cards to your stacks. It doesn't really change how much you're going to do, but it just sort of breaks it up as you play, so it's a slight decrease in strategy there. And then essentially each of these cards has an attack and a defense and a counter attack. And so if an attack, I pick my guy, I'm going to attack with Gaia, who's 9 attack, 0 defense, and a 6+ counter. And I would attack something on the other opposing player's side. It's got to be in the front. You can't attack through. And that player flips, and if my attack beats their defense, I win. If it doesn't, they can try counterattacking, which uses these neat die, which are just D4s, but they have a weird, interesting roll shape to them, but they're cool. And if the counterattack is higher than this person's defense, which is quite possible because it's 0, they are defeated. Otherwise, the player who received the most damage but wasn't defeated is going to get a damage token. 3 damage tokens, and you can instantly, your opponent gets to take out one of your cards instantly. And then you also have horse or animal cards, which sort of act as walls where if the player attacks it, they're going to get a damage but not successfully hit you. So it plays quick. It's easy to sort of understand and get going on. It's relatively simple. I think there's this interesting dynamic where in GG you had rock, paper, scissors, so it's really easy to remember what was rock, what was paper, what was scissors, where it was, and how the relationships work. This is a little bit more of a, well, I'm going to remember that card, but was it a 3 or a 4 or a 5? It was easier to remember if it was a medium scissor. The other thing is, like, Battle Goats was a recent Kickstarter, and in Battle Goats, each card had more of an action ability. This relies a little bit more on the pure strategy of what you put down, and then your what creatures you've played and where, and then your when you're going to play your couple strategy cards. So it's quick, it's easy to understand. I think that it's a nice play on GG if you've played that. If you haven't, I might check out GG first and then check this out and see if it's the right fit. But wow, the artwork is really outstanding. Let me show just some of the other sets here as well. So subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks. Bye.